Kapitev, dude. Let's not even go there. Razorback Rob. I tune into Squirrel, looking bewildered, holding a FIFA PS4 games. I like the fact that they also sent 2 copies of the same game too. Yeah, I don't get that bit, Razorback. They gave me 2 copies of... I got 14, 15 twice, and then 16. Confused.com. Jersek, I don't like football very much, Jersek. It's not... It has no interest to me. Like, no interest. I just don't care. You know? I don't watch football. So I don't play football games. That's it. End. The only football FIFA streamers I've ever tuned into, I don't even think they're enjoying the game. They seem to spend the time screaming at the screen. And how unfair the referee is. You know, I don't know if they're enjoying themselves or not. Am I British? I don't like football. Trust me, Globetrotter, there's plenty of us. Yes, I do need to get fuel. Well, a rabid panda. I need to... Somebody's giving them to me. I need to figure out how to give them to either somebody that will enjoy it or somebody that can benefit like a charity. American football more exciting. I find American football strategic, but I don't know if it's exciting. It kind of is, but it's very stop-start. But in between, it's like a lot of strategy, which is what originally attracted to watching it in the first place. Place isn't really built for this trailer. Ryan Travis, love your streams, but my Wi-Fi is such rubbish that it's horrible quality. I'm sorry, Ryan. Take them to a children's hospital. Did they have PlayStation 4? I mean, that's a great idea. Did they have PS4s though? Like, can they actually use it? Because that would be, yeah, that would be a fantastic idea. I might actually speak to Broomfield Hospital in Chelmsford and see if they can use them. If they've got a PlayStation in there for the kids and stuff, that'd be awesome. Out for the Russian road rage. That's why everybody has a dash cam. Most children's hospitals have them. Oh my god! I think I need to wipe that car out. I'll speak to Broomfield. We'll do that. If Broomfield Hospital want them, we'll give them to them. And they can have 2 copies of FIFA 15, so there can be no arguing. Good night, SF Giants. I wonder at what point will it be that dash cams are optional extras on cars, and at what point will they be just built in? You know? It seems like something that new cars should just have.
Oh, yeah.
Jules, are we there yet? Yes. Oh, that reminds me, Jules. I need to reroute. Or at least make sure that we... Actually, we should ding Kursk as we go through there. I think we should be okay. I was watching some documentaries when I woke up this morning. I put the TV on, started watching Discovery, and they had like Megastructures programs. I love those. We're building bridges. There was one bridge we were building up in Canada. Can't remember the name of the town now. It was like northeast of Seattle. And they were building a huge new bridge between the 2 sides of the city across a lake. And then there was another one in South Korea where they were building this massive bridge. It's like 1.5 kilometers long or something. And like the way they have to create these... Oh, the one in Canada as well was a floating bridge. So they had to build these enormous concrete pontoons. Each one was the size of a football pitch. And then they floated them down the river, locked them into place, and then the bridge goes... Literally, the bridge floats. There's only about, apparently, 7 floating bridges in the world like that. But there's just no other way of doing it, because the ground in the lake underneath is basically 150 meters of like mud. And then it's just too far to drill down, so they have to float the river, float the bridge. Incredible. Don't pull out on me. No, it wasn't Vancouver. Northeast of Vancouver, sorry. No, it's Seattle. It's northeast of Seattle. East of Vancouver, roughly. Can't remember the name of the town. It's called like Kulal or something. I can't remember. They had a weird name. It sounded like Cologne, but it's not spelled like that. Flopsy Doodle, you don't mean the old Hong Kong runway, the Kai Tak, do you? That's it, Kelowna. I think that's it, Kelowna. So you had a weird spelling. If you look at it on Google Maps, it's a big lake, and then there's like a giant bridge that goes across each side of the city. And it was that bridge that they were building. Well, you know, Apple, I don't configure rubbish trucks, do I? That's why it's nice. There's some very good videos on YouTube of planes landing in Kai Tak. Every pilot that landed on Kai Tak had to go on a course before they were allowed to actually land there. and they had to surf so many hours on a simulator. But if you go on YouTube, there's like videos of aircraft landing in heavy crosswinds into Kai Tak, and it's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Mr. Kinducci, thank you very much for the host, buddy. Okay, so my track IR is just frozen. How you doing, Mr. Kinducci? I paused my track IR and it's just completely locked. So that's great. Are we in Russia? Yeah, we are. We've been all... There's Moscow there. We've been around here, basically. We're now heading out. Gonna go through Kursk and head up to Oral. You've driven on the runway in Kai Tak. Nice. Good night, Ben GT. Have a good week. I don't know if I can reset my track IR. Yeah, St. Martin's is nice for different reasons, though. Yeah, you see, it's So the problem is, if you kill this and try to restart it, you'll have to restart ETS as well. So that's the key I had mapped. There you go. There you go. So happens to me sometimes. It remaps some of the keys. So my Alt / has now become Alt 226. And I bet you it's remapped my... Yep. If I now go Shift... If I now go to Shift @ symbol, I now get a double quote. And if I go Shift double quote, I get an @ symbol. I don't know why Eurotruck does this, but it seems to change my my keyboard mappings. Very, very odd. Has anybody else seen that? I don't know why it does it. But that's why the key was suddenly not working. Because it's now it's no longer a / key. It's now a 226. Oh, and because I've Alt-tabbed, we've also lost the fact that I'm in any kind of gear. Yeah, St. Martin's like a beautiful land. There's some crazy videos of people at St. Martin Airport, like absolute idiots, where you've got 747s lining up for takeoff, and you've got these like railings with signs all over it saying, warning, you know, jet wash from aircraft, blah, 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 blah. And they just stand there holding on. And then, of course, the 747 throttles up. And the power of 4 jet engines just blasts this railing. And some people and others just get ripped away, and then they get blown onto the beach and into the sea. You're like, are you stupid? What are you doing? Yeah, I know, Chris, I know about that one. Thank you for the resume, Billy. Doesn't say how many months yet. Yeah, it needs repairing, exactly. But it's an incredible approach because you can just sit on the beach and the 747s are just meters over your head as they come in. Hey, Dolly Llama. A woman died a couple of months ago in the airport because her head got stuck and hit by a rock on the ground. Wow. Normally, somebody dies, that's when the rules get changed. And then somebody says, well, why did we ever allow this? And then you'll get some people going, we've been telling them for years. Because you don't see the jet stream. It's unbelievable that it goes that far and that strong. Well, it shouldn't be, considering the mass that it's pushing. Consider the force that it has to apply to push that entire plane fully laden with passengers and fuel down the runway. Well, that force, equal and opposite reaction, that force is going the other way, which is what they're experiencing. Like, I would love to go just to film the aircraft like landing and stuff, but I wouldn't attach myself to that fence. Oh my god, no, that was being taught, that was a woman. That was a Chinese woman who threw a coin into the jet engine for good luck. Like she was throwing a coin into a well. Like some Chinese old lady who thought that was a good idea. Yeah, Kaitak is not very long. For a fully laden 747, they're basically... And that's the other reason why it's not a good idea to hold on to that mesh fence, because they have to hold the throttle and power up. They have to get the engines fully powered up and then let go of the brakes, because they need all the run they can get. And of course, when they go full power and they're not moving, you're getting the full force of the engine. Grassy, thank you very much for 300 bits. Appreciate that, Grassy. You want to see the truck? There's the truck. Well, they don't make a proper concrete wall, Captain Flint, because when planes come into land over the sea, if they're a bit too low, you don't want them hitting a concrete wall. If the 747's coming into land on that runway, and that runway is meters from the beach, and then you get a wind shear, and the 747 drops out the sky a few meters, you don't want it hitting a concrete wall. The correct thing to do is to move or not have the beach. Like, just don't have the beach, though. Because the other thing is, planes come in that way because the other way is a mountain. Or, you know, high terrain. Otherwise, they just land that way. And if a plane does land and overshoots the runway, it's going straight into the beach, which is another reason not to have a beach there. It doesn't matter, Trucker Chris, whether the beach has been there longer. It shouldn't matter. If they need to build a runway there, and then they make the decision to build a runway, the decision should be to move the beach or not have the beach. Because it's just an accident waiting to happen. Shame they put the beach by the sea. Most beaches tend to be by the sea. I mean, mean, I assume they put the runway there because that's like the only place they could put it or something. Yeah, Scathos is pretty fun. See you later, Trucker Chris. You have a nut, Hibbs. Well done. You're not looking forward to Thursday? What happens on Thursday, Yoshi? Exam? Cop car would have got me for speeding then, wouldn't it? Yeah, I guess right. Well, Yoshi, as long as you do the revision, mate. You know, I had an exam last Thursday. I had an exam the Thursday before. As long as you put the work in, it's okay. No problem, Trucker Chris. You watch any flights in Cessnas on YouTube? I do watch stuff, not necessarily in Cessnas. I watch, you know, all kinds of flights. Not necessarily in Cessnas. There are some Cessnas. Nah, Mr. Tuber, it's not my kind of game. I'm not really into fishing. We did on the last exam I did on Thursday, which was called Human Performance and Limitations, and some of the questions that you get asked are quite interesting. They're to do with things like the perception of a pilot. So, for example, when a pilot's coming into land, they get used. Your mind gets used to the shape of a runway. Yeah, as you look at it, perspective-wise. It kind of looks like that kind of shape as you're coming in. But if you're coming into a runway that is wider than normal, or narrower than normal, or the runway's sloping up, or the runway's sloping down, then the shape of the runway looks different. Thank you for 17 months, John Fly. I think the Pac-Man dongly thing just winked at me. That was definitely your imagination, John Fly. Thank you for 17 months. BG McSqueezy, thank you for the resume. So, if you're coming in, for example, if you're landing on a runway that is sloping up as you look at it, then the runway will appear taller than it actually is. It'll look taller and thinner. So it tricks your mind. And your kind of perception then is different. And you will then tend to do a different thing. You'll come in at a different angle. Because it's now tilting towards you, you perceive yourself to be too high. So you will more likely fly too low and land short on that runway because it's sloping up. And the same thing happens the other way around. Or if the runway's too wide. If the runway's too wide, or wider than normal, you think you're lower down than you really are. It's like, that's pretty crazy stuff. It's good that it's on the exam, you know? A 1080 graphics card, don't bother buying it. Don't bother buying at those insane prices, just wait for stock to fill up again. Are you allowed to leave the exam early, Connor? Me? Well, you get like 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes to do the exam. It only took me about 12. And there's all like stuff around hypoxia, altitude sickness, you know, motion sickness, all that kind of thing. You have to learn all that stuff as well. The next one you have to study for is called operational procedures. So that's going to be fun. And communications. Yeah, but JNLN, at most GA airfields, there are no papulites. You know, the one that I fly out of, no papulites. No ILS, no papulites, none of that stuff. It's just good old-fashioned VFR. And you need to be aware of, you know, if you're going landing on somebody else's runway and it's sloping, you need to be aware of what you're more likely to do. Yeah, the exams are all multiple choice. So they're all like, you know, a question and then a series of answers, and you need to pick them. Sometimes you'll get those kind of tricky ones where it'll give you a question and then it'll say, you know, what are the symptoms of hypoxia? Yeah, and then there'll be stuff like euphoria, blue lips, dizziness, vomiting. Like there'll be a list of things, and then the A, B, C, or D's will be, you know, 1 and 2, both 1, 2, and 3, all above, you know, all that kind of thing. So you've then got to sit down and break it down, work it out. But other than that, like with a lot of multiple choice exams that I've ever sat, pretty much they're structured so that there's always one question, one answer which is just stupid, right? You can just eliminate it because it's just insane. It's stupid, so you eliminate it. Then there'll be like one which, if you know your stuff a little bit, you can eliminate that one, and then you'll usually get down to like 2, and the second one will require close attention to detail, and then you'll get the right answer. But there'll always be a stupid one you can eliminate. So it's never, you can swing the odds in your favor, even if you don't know the answer. You can kind of eliminate the bad ones. Wait, how the heck are we getting here? Oh my god. How do we get in there? Oh. This trailer's a bit wide for this. Crikey. That is a squeeze. I mean, that was probably built for a normal box trailer, not one of these things. We're not out of the woods yet either. Have we got enough room in here to swing this around? Breathe in. Feel the tires screeching. You might want to move out the way, bro. Just saying. Who ordered a tank? It's a good question. Speedkeeper, greetings from Ohio. Today's the Super Bowl in the US. Watching one of your Sunday night trucking VODs while playing at the same time. Keep up the good work. Is it already on? Well, I hope your team wins. As if they're phoning me up to ask where the trailer is. This is just nuts. Oh, man. Like I say, this drop-off point was probably built for a box trailer, not this thing. This thing's a monster.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other thing about the Rust map authors, they like to make things more challenging. Jeez. Stevie with 300 bits. Why does the office complex need a tank? Only Russia where it has an office that has a tank delivered. You never know. You never know why they need it, Stevie. 10 minutes late, though. I'll take that. If your life depended on you parking that tank, we'd all die, John. John Fly, do you know what days you're going to Vegas? Have you worked out when you're going yet? Oh no, wrong key. No. How far is Vegas away from me? About 10 and a half hour flight. It's quite far. You're thinking of going early Wednesday for some pie gow and other trouble. I don't even know what pie gow is. I'm kind of thinking of going like Tuesday to Tuesday or Wednesday to Wednesday, something like that. I'm going to stay for a week. Thank you for 25 months, Twin Deer. Condensed milk. Instant coffee into Belarus. I've actually discovered all the cities apart from that one. Let me have a look at the map. Yeah, there's a few connecting roads. I've never been down here. Light fixtures. A lot of box trailers. Could do that and reroute it again. So you can even do that and reroute it. You'd like to get back on the Discord channel, but it won't let you, Trucker Guy. It should just appear in your list of servers that you can add. Empty pallets. It's coming out of here. That's more. I haven't had a tanker for a while. Vinyl chloride. Might do that. We'll have to teleport though. The trailer has a face, lol. Hey, John Fly, is Max going? Oh, I've got this stuff here. I like that trailer. It's a nice trailer. This pays a lot more money though. A lot more money. This is a fragile, important delivery ADR class 2. Paying 38 grand. I technically am a flying squirrel, Chris, now. When you try to Discord, it says not authorized. Try restarting your Discord. It's obviously being a bit weird. Max will be the noise. I take it he's going to just like jet in. He's not going to be flying his not going to be flying his 5 Mike Whiskey down there or anything. Good night, Martin Thorpe. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Natroshka. We'll have a look at the map and see what we can get. I'm not bothered about discovering it. But if there's any new roads I can go down. Like there's one here I could go down instead of going down that one. We'll pick that up. Just to see new sights, really. Flying to Vegas this time. Because you're not far away, are you, John Fly? From Vegas. You're like an hour's flight or something. You're in a 6-hour drive or a 1-hour flight. Yeah, sorted. 6-hour drive. I didn't realize you lived that close to Vegas. I bet it is. You didn't get married in Vegas, did you, John Fly? Is that sprays? Bit of a colour clash,
yeah.
Orange and green. But at least the white works. True Surium. Hello Paul, you have telling us about your flying and shown us some pics. I'd be curious, flying surely offers a new perspective, but does it also give you a new sense of awe or freedom? Yes, it does. I was discussing this with my instructor actually as we were flying over. Did you see my pics on Instagram, Trisarium? Posted a few pics of my flight on Thursday. And, you know, I was saying to him that when you take off in a passenger jet, you know, you get to, as you're taking off, you get to see some cool stuff out your little tiny window. You can look out your little tiny window and like, wow, look at that down there, that's so cool. But when you sit in a light aircraft, you're surrounded by glass. And if you see something that you want to go and look at, you just, well, let's fly over there. You know, you just fly over it and go and look at it, because you can. And you can look at it from like 2,000 feet rather than screaming up into the high altitudes. It's just so... It's just freedom, you know? You can see the world from a perspective that you can't normally see it. It's just great, True Sarium. So yeah. Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Sutherland? I want to get my, because I think if the weather's going to be nice on Thursday, if the weather's nice this Thursday, I'll probably be doing solo work in the circuit. And I really want to take my GoPro and film it. I don't, it's hard to say yet, Hoiberg, what I'll do. Once I get my PPL, I'll probably just rent aircraft for a little bit and get my flying hours up. Think about doing some, you know, like my night rating and that kind of thing. And just keep my eye open for opportunities. Like if an opportunity suddenly presents itself, like somebody goes, oh, we've now got a slot with this aircraft. And, you know, I get on with those people and the price is right and all the rest of it, then maybe I'll sign up and share an aircraft, but I'm not going to go like rushing into anything. I'm quite happy to just rent by the hour for now. Yeah, Lava Tube, I don't think you can really do that. You'll get shot down. Pretty certain that's going to be a restricted military area. Highest altitude I've flown? Do you mean in a light aircraft or do you mean as a passenger? Not yet, Billy. Once you qualify, you can take passengers as long as you've done 3 hours of flying in the last 3 months and in the same class of aircraft that you're flying in, then you can take passengers. Yes, Marog. In a light aircraft. Probably about 4,500. Not much more than that. We don't go any higher than that. There's no need to. Mostly you just get above the clouds and then you can do stuff. Because once you get above the clouds, like most of the nasty turbulent air is gone. Like the cloud layer sits on that nasty air and then above it is generally quite clear. So once you get up there, it's nice and smooth. But you don't go any higher really, there's just no need. What is going on? Yeah, definitely, ED. Definitely. Because when you do it in real life, you know, you can bring everything that you learnt in a sim into the real world. Like, there's lots of things that I don't need to learn because I already know them from simming. But equally, when you're flying in the real world, you can't take any shortcuts. Like, you've got to do your checklist. You've got to do every step, you know? You've got to do your magneto check. You've got to make sure your flaps are down. You've got to just make sure the fuses are in. Like, there's all these things that you have to do. Because now, if something goes wrong, your life is on the line. So you can't just, you know, you're coming in for an approach and the approach doesn't look good. In a sim, you might be like, force it down, slam it into the floor. In real life, you're going to be, nope, we're going around. So then when you come back to the sim, you tend to take the sim a bit more serious because that's what you're now used to in the real world, and you want to practice what you do in the real world on a sim. So the two things complement each other. Well, indeed, John Fly, you can't. Yeah, can I just load that back in and do it again? No. So the sim prepares you for real life, but real life makes you a better simmer. They really do complement each other, is what I would say. I mean, you could ask somebody like Max, like he's, you know, like over 500 hours flying now. Pretty certain when he goes simming, he kind of brings his knowledge with him. Has anybody seen the, what's that film? Jumanji 2, is it? I think it's Jumanji 2. With, is that The Rock in it? Is that it? Jumanji 2? It's quite funny because it's got video game elements in it. I think it's the right film. It's got video game elements, like they line themselves in this jungle and they've got like 3 marks on their arm there and they don't know why. And within a few minutes, one of them gets like eaten by an animal, and then he falls from the sky. He basically respawns, but he's only got 2 marks on his arm. So they very quickly work out that they've got 3 lives. And then you get that kind of, like, once you're down to 1 life, all of a sudden, anything they try and do is like really stressful because, well, if they fail, they're dead. And that's the difference between simming and real life. Like, you get 1 life. I thought it was quite funny, James. It was more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. There's some things that are just hilarious in that film. Oh, come on, lights. Yep, we're all in hardcore mode. Exactly. Nah, you can't really die in ETS2. The worst you can do is total your truck. Get it recovered. Repair it, off you go. Yeah, you can tip over your truck, yeah. You can chuck it on its side, and then you'll have to recover it. Are there still more mods in Euro Truck than American Truck? Yeah, and I don't see that ever changing. The cabin mod, Dark Delta, is the SISL mod. If you go to Steam Workshop, and look for the SISL accessories pack, I think it is, and then it adds these things into the SCS trucks and a few other modded trucks. It gives you a load of internal cabin accessories. Yeah, that's a pretty weird train, Heyman. Sounded like one of those old electronic keyboards.